Hi there and welcome to New Journeys Counselling channel. My name is Marianne. I'm sure a lot of you have watched my previous videos, but if you're tuning in for the first time, New Journeys Counselling provides counselling to couples, to individuals with depression and to individuals with stress. And the reason I started this channel was so that I had an opportunity to talk about some of the issues that affect people who have either been experienced counselling, maybe people who have wanted to go for counselling, or just generally really, but some of the topics are counselling topics and then others are more coaching or other issues that affect people in general life. So recently I was reading an article in the Therapy Today magazine, which if you're a counsellor, then most counsellors are a member of the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy, and as part of our membership we receive a magazine and we also get other benefits for being a member. Now this article was talking about the link between depression and death, and I just thought it was really interesting because we all know that there's a link between depression and bereavement. There are links between depression and unemployment. And some of these things are what I might be doing videos on at a later date. But the link between depression and death, depression and poverty, is very strong, and the article gave a really good case for this, because it talked about people from all different walks of life and also of different age ranges, different genders, and how death can have a massive impact on their lives and can lead to depression quite quickly. So I just want to talk a little bit about that really, because initially when people get into debt, it might just start off with maybe you owe some family members money, maybe you have credit card debt, maybe you have mortgage. Probably a lot of people have some form of debt in some form, whether that's because they own a car on finance, it could be a mortgage, it could be bill, stuff that you have to pay. But when it gets to the point where your debt becomes overwhelming and you're not in a position to ever catch up with it, when you just can't make the payments on time, when you're getting the letters coming through, that's when it can probably lead to depression. And the reason it can lead to depression is possibly one of two reasons really. If someone is in a lot of debt and they're not taking any action towards clearing it, and that could be maybe fear. So the situations I know where I've worked with people where they will just not open any letters that come through the door. So rather than opening the letter, they know it's a bill or somebody owing, they'll just throw the letters in the bin, or they'll put them in a drawer and never look at them. Now if you're doing that, it means you're still aware in your mind that you've got these debts. You still know that they exist, but you're just pretending that they're not there. That can be the worst thing that you can do, because you're still going to bed at night, you know that the problem is getting stronger and getting worse, but you're not taking any action. A second reason being in debt can lead to depression is when you are in a position where you're paying off the debt, but you have so many different types of debt and you owe so many creditors that you are not ever catching up. So maybe everything you earn is going towards those debts, but you're not feeling that you're getting any further. Maybe you're only paying off the interest. Maybe it means that you cannot live the life you want to live because you literally can't afford to do anything else when you've paid all the debts each month. Or the people you owe, you don't have enough money to buy the things you want or to do the things you want to do. And if this happens for a long period of time, then you can understand why it would have a major impact on people, because in the article it talked about especially the elderly and the very young, where you could have someone who's 25 and they might owe like 30,000, 40,000. Now even that figure on its own, to be so young and maybe you're only just doing your second or third job where you're not earning a lot of money, it's the fear and the emotion attached to having so much amount of debt and knowing that it's going to be a struggle, and having to live with the fact that maybe you won't pay that off. It might take you 10, 20 years. So So I'm just going to give 3 quick tips for if you're someone that's in a lot of debt and before it gets to the point where you become depressed or it becomes too much for you, here are 3 quick things you can do. Tip number 1 is seek financial advice. Now, there are so many free financial advisors at your local bank. There are lots of services, credit counselling services, even online and on the phone, where they will give you free advice. So there's no reason that you can't go to one of these services and get them to put things in perspective and to help you make a plan. That's really important. Tip number 2 is don't bury your head in the sand. Don't get these letters through or these reminders and these, you've got to pay final demands, and don't just think if I ignore them it will be fine, I can't deal with this right now. I hear a lot of people say, well, I'll deal with it tomorrow, or something will come up. I don't need to open this letter now. Take action, treat it as a challenge. So when you get this letter, open it up and then say, right, this is the letter, this is who I owe, this is how I'm going to tackle it head on. Phone the creditor, explain your situation, explain that you can't pay right now, but give them an offer of what you can afford to pay. And tip number 3 is once you have a written plan of action, make sure each week that you also do something to treat yourself. It doesn't have to be financial, but you want to be in a situation where everything isn't about the debt, where you're not being consumed by it. I mean, this is quite serious. There are people who have taken their lives over being in debt because they just feel it's too much, they're better off dead, And although that's extreme, you don't want to be in a situation where you feel, what's the point, what's the work, is it worth me living when I can't, all these debts, all these people are coming at me, all these creditors. Take action, treat yourself, go out, go and see family, do something that doesn't cost a lot of money. Don't spend all your time focusing on the debt. So this was quite a brief video. I'm actually going to be doing a live video of this on Facebook at some point because I just want to hear from other people. And I do think that debt and depression is linked, can be linked. And I do think that a lot of people also come for counselling through stress around money and debt. So if you want more information about New Journeys Counselling, please go to my Facebook page, which is NU Journeys Counselling. You can also find me on Instagram as NU Journeys Counselling. I'm on Twitter as NJ Counselling, and you can also find me on here. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you enjoy watching my videos. Thank you, take care, and see you soon. Bye.